When I was convinced to go to San Sebastián, I had no idea what to expect. I mean, I had never heard about this place, so I was a little bit hesitant about going in the first place. Why wouldn't I just visit emblematic cities such as Madrid, Barcelona, or Seville? Thankfully, I didn't make the mistake of skipping one of the best destinations in the world. I got to experience a place like no other, where the beach meets the mountains. A city that has marvelous architecture, yet you can feel a town-like atmosphere due to its compactness. Still, the biggest feature of San Sebastián is its food. San Sebastián expresses itself perfectly through its food, showing its French, Spanish, and, of course, Basque identities through great culinary creations. San Sebastián is synonymous of good food, and I believe it's best to address that first. Spain has given us great culinary delicacies such as paella, churros, and pulpo a la gallega. However, there is only one place that is referred to as the culinary capital of Spain, and that is San Sebastián. According to the late Anthony Bourdain, you could make the argument that there is no better place to eat in Europe than the city of San Sebastián. That quote is very accurate, as eating in San Sebastián will never disappoint. Restaurants there are measured to a very high standard, so mediocrity is not an option. The city has iconic restaurants that have accumulated a whopping 18 Michelin stars. Donostia San Sebastián has more Michelin star restaurants per capita than anywhere else in the world. As I was told when visiting Donostia, if a restaurant does not have good quality food, it probably won't be open for long. Therefore, I cannot recommend a single place for you to go to. It would be a disservice to you and the amazing gastronomy of the city. Literally, you could go into any restaurant and you would probably have a meal to remember. Walk around the city, look at menus posted on streets, and go into the restaurant that calls for you. Take the chance to be surprised, as there is no better place where to gamble with food than San Sebastián. That's exactly what I did, and I do not regret that decision. I have always said that the greatest memories when traveling often come from not having a plan, like having the most amazing pinchos in a random restaurant that you stumble upon in Donostia. Now, what I can definitely suggest is that you try some Basque must-haves. Before anything else, in the Basque Country there are no tapas. They have pinchos. Although both are technically the same thing and they are used interchangeably, the Basque people take much pride on their beloved pinchos. Despite the many versions of the origin of the pinchos, one is the most well-known and comes from Donostia. Apparently, in the 1930s, the owner of Bar La Espiga had the brilliant idea to serve small snacks held together by toothpicks. This way of plating food was very popular among its customers, especially among aristocrats that spread this idea to other cities like Madrid and Barcelona. From then on, pinchos became a staple of the Basque Country. Whether or not the story is true, it is undeniable that Donostia has a lengthy history with pinchos. People often go out for pinchos in Donostia and have come up with their own rutas de pinchos. A ruta de pinchos consists of going to different pinchos restaurants with friends and ordering several rounds of pinchos and drinks. I recommend doing your own ruta de pinchos and trying everything that you can. Just one thing to consider is that touristy areas such as the Old Town and around La Concha Beach will have restaurants with higher prices than less touristy areas. In addition to pinchos, other must-eats are chistorra, an ical dish, and the famous Basque cheesecake. Apart from its food, another thing that makes San Sebastián special is its beaches. There are three impressive beaches in San Sebastián that seem unreal until you realize you are actually there. Let's start with Playa de la Zurriola, a designated beach for surfing and witnessing impressive sunsets. Here you will see many people, tourists and locals alike, surfing the waves of the Bay of Biscay. Even though you could surf in the other two beaches of San Sebastián, here waves are constant and preferred by surf fanatics. At the same time, due to its big waves and strong currents, it is imperative to be very cautious when swimming there. Unfortunately, a few fatalities have been recorded at Zurriola, so bad swimmers are strongly advised to refrain from going into deep waters. Also, as there are many surfers, one must be aware of its surroundings to avoid collisions with other surfers or their boards. Regardless, it's a very energetic beach where many young people like to hang out and especially admire its sunsets. The other two beaches are part of La Concha Bay, Playa de la Ondarreta and Playa de la Concha. Playa de la Ondarreta is often mistaken as just an extension of Playa de la Concha, but they are indeed separated by the Miramar Palace grounds. At Ondarreta, you can find the famous sculptures by Eduardo Chillida, the Comb of the Wind. The sculptures attempt to mark the boundary between nature and human beings, a great analogy of what the city of San Sebastián is. Playa de la Concha is the main beach in San Sebastián and an icon of the city. La Concha's name, which translates to seashell in English, comes from the characteristic shape of the beach. One cannot visit San Sebastián without going to La Concha. There is a reason why it is the city's most iconic attraction. La Concha is like no other beach. It is fashionable, clean, and always bustling. It is the preferred spot for beachgoers as currents and waves are tame. There are places that you need to see in person to understand how beautiful they are. La Concha is indeed one of those. Thus, I can definitely tell you that once you have been there, it will be among the top 3 of the best beaches you have ever gone to. Well, as long as you are there in the summer, since in the winter the water temperature drops significantly. Still, even then, the utter beauty of La Concha is unmatched and makes it worth visiting San Sebastián at any time. Technically, there is one more beach in San Sebastián. Right in the middle of the Concha Bay, there is an island called Santa Clara Island. At the island, there is another tiny beach that heavily depends on how high the tide is. When the tide covers the tiny beach, at least there is a seawater swimming pool you can bathe in. There is a ferry that takes people from the harbor to the island, as long as the weather allows it, operated by the Motoras de la Isla. This ferry service is only available from June 1st to September 30th and runs every 30 minutes from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tickets cost €5 and all of them are round-trip tickets, as these boats are the only way to return to San Sebastián. Well, actually that's not true. Many people like to swim or take a kayak to Santa Clara Island. If you are at La Concha during the summer, you will see many adventurous people running with a kayak towards the ocean. The island is close enough to the beach that good swimmers can actually skip the ferry and swim to the island. Plus, many shops rent kayaks for you to make it to the island on your own. I have been told that doing so is a great experience, but please be careful and wary of the sea. Santa Clara Island is a beautiful place to explore. There are 2 buildings on the island, a bar and a lighthouse. The lighthouse dates back from 1864 and now houses a sculpture by Cristina Iglesias called Ondalea. The island also has showers and several paths that run through the island. Most people like going to the island to enjoy some of the best views of San Sebastián and to get a bit in touch with nature. San Sebastián is also known for the 3 mountains that surround it. The city is usually thought of as a beach town, but it offers great non-challenging hikes with breathtaking views. Going from east to west, the first mountain we find on the map is Mount Ulia. Mount Ulia is the tallest mountain and the largest hill walking area in all of San Sebastián. It is a natural park that used to be a lookout point for spotting whales. Many people enjoy walking around the vast green areas, and you will see many people that are following the north route of the Way of St. James as it goes through Mount Ulia. At the top you can find a restaurant, an observation deck, and a small recreational park. The next mountain is Mount Urgull, located right in the middle of San Sebastián's coast. Right next to the old town, it oversees the city with picture-perfect panoramic views. In the 12th century, Mount Urgull was converted into a military fortress with Castillo de la Mota built on its top. Mount Urgull was key in defending the city and houses some of the last remnants of San Sebastián before it was destroyed in 1813. Today, Mount Urgull functions as a free-of-charge outdoor museum. Access is restricted from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. from May 1st to September 30th, and from 8 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. from October 1st to April 30th. Right at the foot of Mount Urgull, you can find the aquarium and the Basque Maritime Museum, as well as the San Telmo Museum. Finally, but definitely not least, the most iconic mountain around San Sebastián is Mount Igueldo. Mount Igueldo is located at the west end of the city, and it is a great representation of San Sebastián's Belle Époque. To accompany Mount Igueldo's natural beauty, the top of the mountain was developed to showcase the city's elegance. The main attraction when the mountain opened to visitors was a casino, which now has been turned into a hotel that overlooks the city. Nevertheless, you can still be transported to the early 20th century when visiting Mount Igueldo. The project of developing Mount Igueldo was ordered by Queen Maria Cristina of Austria. She was very fond of San Sebastián to the point that she constructed Miramar Palace as the royal family's summer vacation home. Miramar Palace is located in between La Concha Beach and Ondarreta Beach. It is a must-visit if possible. After the palace's construction, Maria Cristina wanted an area in the city where the Spanish family could have fun. Thus, Mount Igueldo became the designated spot for recreational activities and the casino. Nowadays, the main attractions are a kid-oriented amusement park and a restaurant. To reach the top, a funicular was built in 1921 that still operates today. You can take the funicular for a price of €4.75 for a return ticket, but check its timetables before going. I have attached the funicular and Mount Igueldo's website in the description box. However, the best thing about Mount Igueldo is its stunning views of San Sebastián. There is no better place to take pictures or just admire Donostia, whether that be during the day or at night. No picture actually makes it justice of how otherworldly it is to be atop of the mountain and overlooking the pearl of the Basque Country. I recommend watching the sunset up there as it will change your life. Trust me. San Sebastián, or Donostia, whatever you want to call it, is full of surprises and great times. You cannot find a better place in the Basque Country than this elegant city. Despite its French resemblance, not only in its architecture but also in its culinary prestige, the city is a Spanish gem. The connection the city had to the Spanish royal family makes it one of Spain's most iconic places. Yet, the city is as Basque as they come, and exemplifies how a true Basque person lives, divided between the sea and the land. As you can see, San Sebastián is a melting pot of cultures that one can only understand when you get to experience it. Not many places in the world are as unique as this one. I guess you have to book a trip to explore such a marvelous place and eat some of the best food in the world. Hopefully, this video has been a good guide to what to do in San Sebastián, and you will go there soon. Consider subscribing and leaving a like. Comment any questions or things that I have missed down below. God bless you and have a great day.